Hey, good evening, everybody. Thanks for joining us tonight on ET Home Gaming here on YouTube for the Tyler Daniels Racing Next Gen Cup Series tonight at Daytona for week 4 of this fall season.
Good to be back.
Yeah, we got Josh up here in the booth once again. How's it going tonight, Josh?
Going okay. I was listening to a little bit of the in-car chatter, and I had to go back on mute there, so sorry if everybody heard that out there. I'm sure people are like, oh, we want to hear the in-car, but that'll mess me up. I know it'll mess you up, so I'll get that muted there for you. Things are going okay. Things are going all right. It was a long week, but glad to be here at Virtual Daytona with Tyler Daniels Racing. It's going to be a bunch of fun tonight. And looking forward to all the action here. 90 laps. It's going to be hopefully a nice, clean race.
And we may have another special guest in the booth with us at some point tonight with Tommy Bear. If anyone's familiar with Tommy or not, he was a big part of the broadcast team back when we ran the Vets and First Responders League. He's been gone for a while, but he's expressed some interest in getting up here with us tonight, so we may see him at some point.
Well, that would be great to have him, for sure. Some fast times being put down here during practice. We're now seeing the 69 of Andrew Bissonnette. The 46032 in practice, Brian Boyd. 46068, Jim Downham. 47557. So, some fast cars out here.
Yeah, we're seeing most of the drivers currently with about 10 minutes to go in practice, trying to just get some practice running around other people, get a little bit more comfortable before we get things going. It's not too important to go out there and get single lap speed because obviously that's not what's going to win you this race.
You know, a lot of patience for sure after watching the Talladega race or listening to the Talladega race while I was working today. Some of those guys, Ryan Blaney taking home a win today. My guy Priest taking home a top 10, was happy about that. It's wonder.
Maybe we'll have a side-by-side 12 1,000ths of a second type finish tonight.
Photo finishes are always exciting, especially when you're the driver in those situations. Yeah, people already checking in the YouTube land. Glad to have you. Feel free to chat away. We'll periodically check the chat through the course of the race tonight.
Pretty good turnout so far, currently with 20 driver entries at the moment. Typically tend to see a lot of people show up to run the Daytona and Talladega races just because anyone's got a shot. You never know what's going to happen on that last lap. We've seen wrecks happen plenty of times, and then somebody from even 5th on back finds a way to get through the chaos in the front and find themselves in victory lane. So I would not be surprised to see us have our 4th different winner of the season. We've had 3 races so far, and we've had 3 different winners. So there's certainly guys that obviously their skill level will put them to the front, but sometimes skill doesn't quite matter if you don't have draft help, or you're not in the right spot at the right time, or you just get collected just into somebody else's chaos. So I think with there only being three winners out of 20 entries, I'd say that I would go with the field tonight that we're going to have a different winner.
Absolutely agree. A couple of Mondays ago, I ended up taking home a win because of a last-minute wreck, and I ended up pushed straight through across the finish line. So yeah, anything can happen at super speedways. 50-50 shot. That's the way I see it.
We certainly saw that today. I appreciate you guys being patient with my audio issues, but I am officially joining the booth for as long as I can be here, hopefully longer than this race lasts.
Well, appreciate you expressing interest in being here with us tonight, Tommy.
Yeah, man. Even though I don't have time to race anymore, I do follow you guys, and I love what you guys are continuing to do. I'm sad I wasn't able to be here 2 weeks ago when you had the memorial race, but you guys keep on keeping on and bringing awesome to the track every week.
Oh, heck yeah. Welcome to the booth. Glad to have you and a pleasure to meet you, sir.
It's mutual.
So we got Andrew Bisonet currently fastest in practice, with Brian Boyd in second. No surprise to see those two guys up at the top of the charts. They're two of the typical fastest guys at restrictor plate type tracks. They both always seem to find their way to the front, if not sooner or later, they will get there, and it's just a matter of whether or not they can be there at the end when it matters the most.
Oh yeah,
Absolutely.
for sure. For sure. I mean, some other notable mentions we see up here, some fast laps. We got the 74 of Chris Jordan, a newcomer here to Tyler Daniels Racing, and then Tyler Daniels himself, showing in the top 10 with some fast laps being laid down here. So it's great to see some new, fresh names and some names not typically up there in the top 10 for fast laps. Guys pushing the envelope. Watching some three wide actions here between the 74, the 30, and the 78. Pushing the envelope during practice here, holding their line through.
Maybe a little corny, but I never really thought much about the fact of Dale Weiser's Chick-fil-A paint scheme that he's been running for a couple weeks now. Uh, to have the audacity to put that on a car and to drive it on Sundays, knowing darn well that we can't get any.
And I'm sure he would say, hey, my pleasure. Trying to push a 4 wide back there. You see that? No.
And it doesn't work.
Oh,
If you're
boy.
gonna find out whether or not it works, now would be the time. 4 minutes left in practice, looking to see some hot qualifying laps with some of these guys that are touching it. And I gotta get some feedback from the booth real quick. I'm on a new mic and headset and combination. Everything sound okay out there?
Yeah, everything sounds good from my end.
Very good. Very good. It's been a while since I've done this. I'm glad to be back here watching it with you guys.
Well, someone older, someone newer. It's great. Get to learn from an old broadcast fellow, which is great.
Well, one of the beauties of racing is that it is inherently generational. You see a lot of fathers, sons, and now at this point in the big series, their grandchildren out there running. It's a family affair, whether it's online or on the real track.
Yes, sir. Before they start qualifying, so you can lay down some more laps. Maybe see who can work well with each other in the draft. Maybe even find out who doesn't work well together in the draft. So coming down on the closing minutes of their practicing here.
Yeah, it's definitely not a bad idea to go ahead now and find out who you're comfortable pushing, who you're comfortable pushing you, because it's definitely gonna be critical to kind of have some level of comfort with certain people that can help you get where you need to be.
Yep, we saw that at Talladega today. The young man, I think Corey Herbst, his fourth showing, the number 36 in Talladega today, was looking really strong. Was able to push people. Was not able to be pushed. And he was in his before start, a lot of the drivers out there tonight on Sunday didn't know whether or not they could push him, and they found out that unfortunately they couldn't. And the same thing happens here. You know, you run with your same guys week in, week out. You know how they perform. The guys that don't perform to your level, the guys you don't run with all the time, they're a bit of a wild card. But depending on how the race shakes out, you may end up having to trust them.
It reminds me of one of my paint schemes that does say on the back, there's my paint guy put on the back, it's okay, you can draft with me. So yeah, there are some people out there that you can learn to push and not push, and where you can and can't in due time.
Absolutely.
That's the fun part about racing too, is learning.
And
It's always learning.
the other thing is knowing when to push.
Oh, sure.
And I mean, it's a 90 lap race. There's plenty of time, but we'll see how aggressive that everyone decides to be early on.
Well, everyone's looking really good in practice, kind of getting some laps in, kind of seeing how those bumpers line up. You see them right now too wide, not big packs or anything, but putting those bumpers together here and there, seeing what the car feels like, and that information is going to be so critical when the green flag drops. We're going to see who can put down the best qualifying lap here, but everyone knows that Super Speedway's qualifying isn't nearly as important as where you finish.
Absolutely. I don't normally like qualifying myself, but I do like having a good pit box on pit lane, knowing where I am. So one of the reasons I do qualify is at least I know I got a good pit selection, or where I would be on pit roads. So no, other than that, I would start from the back, especially on super speedways, just because of attrition and watching the chaos ensue. Because I don't want to be the first one to the scene of the accident. That's for sure.
Absolutely. I do prefer to start in the back on super speedways. I do like a good pit box up front, but at a super speedway, it's so chaotic and there's so much is at chance. I'd much rather be in the back, be able to analyze the situation, like you said, position through attrition, and work your way up to the front. The opportunity will be there all night long, unless you have a little bit of bad luck.
Oh yeah, for sure, absolutely. So our 10-minute qualifying has started, and it looks like we already do have some cars out on the track. Like, I'm seeing the 66 of Bob Burlew already out there, and Ryan Walters already out there. I got the
So I
double O of Will Weiser.
wanted to go ahead and throw up our. Here are the results from the practice session with Andrew Bisnett putting down the fastest time with a 46.032. Brian Boyd second, Jim Downham third, Casey Wynn fourth, Greg Langford in fifth, Tracy Wooten in sixth, Jay Downham seventh, Luke Desjardins in eighth, Mike Madley 10th, Bob Burlew rounded out the top 10.
A lot of names up there I recognize, and a lot of names I don't. And at a super speedway, doesn't matter whether I know them or not. It's anybody's race out there when that green flag drops. Real quick, Ethan, do you have a link to the broadcast? Where is this being streamed at today?
So we are on YouTube, and it is on channel's name is ET Drone Home Gaming.
I'm getting them pulled up now so I can try to help you keep eyes on what's going on in the chat over there, because I know this is not an easy job.
Oh, for sure. No, yeah, I'm running on. I got 2 computers and a phone going, so I absolutely understand that. I have the chat going on one laptop. I got the monitors going for all the cars and the drivers, so I understand that. I'm learning quickly because I've always expressed an interest in doing it, and then all of a sudden it came up quick, and he's like, I got the offer from Ethan. Hey, you want to do it? I'm like, yeah, let's go. So it's been learning really quick.
Now, it sounds like you've already got to figure it out, man. It is a lot. me and my former broadcast partners have said time and time again, it's a lot of work up here. The drivers have told us they appreciate us because of what we do up here. A lot of the people out there watching don't understand what goes into it, but I appreciate you having all those screens open because you need every single one of them to keep up with this kind of action.
Not joking, not joking. And I did put the link up in the driver's lounge of the TDR official Discord if anybody did need it who is a part of the Discord. And don't forget to hit the subscribe and like and keep updated with all things ET Drone Home anytime we have a broadcast here. It'll
Yep,
give you a little update.
I just hit all those buttons, so when I'm looking at my phone and you guys are doing something, I will know about it.
Smash it, like it, love it, subscribe.
Having numerous screens definitely makes it much easier. Currently, got 3 monitors, a TV, and my phone all going together at the
See?
same time.
Oh yeah,
Now,
it's like mini broadcast booths and little trailers separated through the country here.
well, and it is, and you have to remember in the professional circuits, the whole broadcast team is together. They have all those screens they get to share, they get everything out there. We have to do this remotely from the privacy of our own homes, and the way we're able to link up and exchange everything over the internet really blows my mind.
Growing up, man, it was just like, Nintendo, the NES Classic, we never even thought about, dreamed in my wildest dreams when I was a kid, I get to play against my friends at home at night when we couldn't be together during the day or something. So,
Yeah, the
uh,
level of competition in iRacing is definitely a step away from the level of competition in Mario Kart. That is for sure.
absolutely agree with you for sure. Imagine that when we were kids. We can play Legend of Zelda against our friends from home while they're home?
Oh, blew my mind that we could hook up, a couple N64s together or have four players just on one machine. Like that was mind-blowing
The
technology. And now look,
old-fashioned land. Yeah, I know. Look at us now,
all,
thriving. But
all all across the world, people coming together to enjoy motorsport.
it's so great. Dude, I still can't get those. How we can put men on the moon in '69 and talk to them, but I can't get a clear Wi-Fi connection from the Wi-Fi router that's 5 feet away. But you know, that's a discussion again for another day.
Repeaters, my friend. You need Wi-Fi repeaters.
Yeah, I guess so. About 10 of them, about a foot away from
Yeah.
each. So we are about halfway into qualifying here, and we are starting to see some qualifying laps put down. Looks like right now on the pole, we got the 33 of Devin Zimmerman with a 49.445, and the 30 of Dale Weiser tied that qualifying lap of
Wow.
49.445. Imagine that. And then we have the third P3 and 96 of David Trumbley, and then newcomer Christopher Jordan. Chris Jordan is 74, coming up at the fourth spot as of right now, and then Ryan Walter pulling up that top five for qualifying.
Competition's gonna be fierce. The TDR guys, a lot. half the people you said in the top 10 I used to race with on the regular basis, they are fast people. They have gotten faster and faster since I've met them initially, and I expect them to bring every bit of competition to it. Zimmerman, Weiser, McDonald, Trumbley.
So I want to take a quick moment. We're gonna take a look at the our point standings so far this season, and we've got Devin Zimmerman currently is the points leader after 3 races in. He's got 1 win. Will Weiser in second, also with a win, and Brian Boyd in third. Uh, our third winner on the season got the win last week at New Hampshire. And all 3 of those guys, as long as they meet the other requirements, which is just to race a minimum number of races, the minimum required, which I believe that they can only miss 2 races in the regular season um, to be able to use that when you're in card that they've earned by getting wins. And it is if I'm not mistaken, the top 12 that will get in on points for this season. No, 16. The top 16 in points will all get into the playoffs. So,
Yeah, a lot of stiff competition up there. I see 3 wins on the board already for 3 different drivers, but I see a lot of names back there that are more than capable. And actually, I'm surprised that well, I presume just stepping in as a guest host, you must only be 3 races into the season.
yep, this is race number 4.
Yeah, there's a handful of names back there. I wouldn't be surprised if they brought home a fourth win under a different driver tonight. David Trumbley's one that I love to watch. He's very quiet, likes to sit in the back, kind of analyze the situation, and he's always behind you. He reminds me of a Kevin Harvick. Where did he come from, right? Towards the end of the race, where did David come from? Always right there to come in and scoop up some points, and some other guys back there that bring a lot of speed week in, week out.
Yep,
Yeah,
we've got
absolutely.
qualifying is wrapping up as we speak. So we'll go ahead and take a look at tonight's race info here at Daytona International Speedway. 2.48 mile oval configuration. Track temp is 95 degrees. We've got a 90 lap race this evening. The pit window is somewhere around 36 to 38 laps, but with it being a 90 lap race, we may see them just split it into thirds, or they may run it all the way out. Also, we'll have to judge that based on any cautions that come out. So, be interesting to keep an eye on who pits when. A lot of the times, guys like to try to find certain people to pit with so they can come back out with a partner to draft with. That'll be something
Mm-hmm.
to keep an eye on. Pit road speed is 60 miles an hour. Everyone will have unlimited sets of tires in the pits, as well as one fast repair.
Yeah, the pit strategy is going to be interesting. And broadcasting remotely with you gentlemen, I don't have access to any of the awesome data you do. But tires probably won't be a big issue here. Those fuel stops and who you're coming with that you alluded to, Ethan, who you pit with matters more than anything. Are they people you trust? Are they people that are going to run with you? You want to make sure you have at least a handful of guys that are going to go with you and ride with you to the end of this race.
All right, now
Wow.
we'll go ahead and take a look at our grid starting order for tonight's race. Josh, if you want to run us through.
Sure. My gosh, I'd be happy to. All right, so we on the pole we have the 33 of Devin Zimmerman, the 30 of Dale Weiser coming in the P2 spot, P3 Chuck McDonald, P4 David Trumbley. We got the 09 of Jeremy Gaiman, the 74 that newcomer Chris Jordan, 49 of Ryan Walters, the 69 of Andrew Bissonnette. Got the 10 pulling up next to that with the 66 of Bob Burlew, the 25 of Tyler Daniels, 77 of Bill Kirkstra, 28 of Jin Dowman, on the 78 of Brian Boyd, Tracy Wooten in the 27, coming up in that spot after him, 20 of Jorge Rincon or George. Got 21 of Mike Matherly, and we have Jay Downham after that, Dale Powell. We have my overlays sitting right in my way. Sorry, folks. Then we have The win, can't even see that there. Double O, Will Weiser starting from the back in the 21st spot, and Greg Langford in the '07 pulling up the rear in the 22nd spot on the grid. So we do have 22 cars on the track, taking them warm-up lap behind the pace car. I'm excited. It's going to get interesting.
Yeah, just to bring up a quick clarification, that was Casey Wynn, the
Thank
name
you.
you couldn't read.
I got Chuck. To me, it says '04 Chuck McDonald win. It's my overlays. I can't move them at the moment. So
Oh, I
still learning
know.
as I go.
I'm remembering all too well how difficult it can be. Looking good though. Looking good. Got a nice full field here, 20 cars. I expect them to see them 10 deep, 2 wide, and then we got to divide that by a third when it comes time to really go after it and get that checker flag.
Tyler Daniels in the driver's shot saying he's driving a Toyota because he can go places, perhaps not super speedways. He laughed about that. He said, and thanks for the unlimited tires from Verizon. So he's pulling for his plugs and sponsors out there.
Hey, nothing says thank you like unlimited tires at a place where you don't really need them.
I like to take right sides here because it's just about the same amount of time to gas up your car and take them right sides at super speedways.
I kind of like them a little older. I like the hot tire. It's a little stickier to me. If it's not wearing out, I kind of want to do that. I will take it, but I'll run a set forever as the pace car pulls off, and it's time to go green, boys.
All right, green flag is out. We are underway in Daytona.
Everybody's staying clean, pretty much side by side right now.
David Tremblay with a good run on the outside there, pushing the 30. That line coming up. Momentum. Stay yellow. Ooh.
We do have somebody dip out on the inside.
It looked like Chuck McDonald. I think he just was electing to go straight to the back. He doesn't want to be in this right now. Wants to just sit back and ride.
And can't blame it. Points are on the line. You know, make your best decisions. David Tremblay now first in line for that little bit of momentum scenario. He's going to sort himself out to the outside, probably fall in line here on the inside. I expect him to run. Oh, look at the run there. Three on the top side there, trying to make the outside work. They could, but it's going to be a stretch with that many on the inside to bring momentum.
Oh yeah, with all that momentum. So 30 did look on the outside for a second. Decided to dip right back in behind the 74, Chris Jordan. Everybody pretty much holding their line there, being very patient. Good to see.
A lot of jockeying up front here. Everyone's trying to kind of find the air, get in that draft. Looks like the outside line's prevailing right now with David Tremblay. Listen to those cars roll by. I love it.
That great sound. That top line is getting some momentum here as the bottom line's trying to form up. Got the 78, the 74 going high, deciding to go up on that high line there.
Tyler Daniels all the way up to the wall there, just trying to maximize the amount of track he had to keep it all planted down, bringing up the bottom end of that outside line. I think the outside line right now is prevailing. I don't see a lot of formation to the inside line. Tyler drops though. That outside line though, you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 cars.
Got 4 laps down. Everybody's running pretty clean at this moment.
I'm starting seeing them fan out single file here. Looks like the front pack's not willing to commit to the bottom until maybe they get the tail end of the outside pack with them. But any delay in there, whether you're trying to bring friends along with you or not, the bottom line has something to say about that, and they're going to move in and try to upset the gains you've had there on the outside. And it looks like they're getting a little more organized both roads.
Yeah, I'm watching that inside line. I was also watching one of the, some of the cars coming from the back who know the air, and I'm keeping an eye on the double O. Has made back all the way up to the 10 spot, running that low line. So the car to get that bottom line moving to gain a little bit more momentum across that top line. It's just gaining a little bit more advantage every lap that goes by.
They're both looking somewhat organized. I don't think anyone's really covering this. Time to go. Run your race. Decide whether or not you want to be in the front or the back. But stuff's gonna happen here. We have to make pit stops. We have to do a lot of stuff before we
I saw in our YouTube chat that we had some input as far as our voices being possibly a little low compared to the cars. If that's so, if anyone's having trouble hearing us, please put that in the comments so we know that we need to make some adjustments. We want you all to be able to hear us. We don't want the cars to overpower us.
I see that as well. I can turn on my input a little bit.
Yeah,
I can also adjust the volume of the cars. I know that this many cars together at a super speedway compared to when we're at other tracks, it's going to be louder here. So
I mean, it's only about 40,000 horsepower out there right now. It's nothing. I see another car walking to the inside there below the double yellow losing position. I wonder if he got stepped out or decided
Christopher Jordan is what it looks like to me.
Looks like he may have stepped out to do the same thing. Fast enough, he stepped to the back.
It's hard to say. It's so hard to watch these super speedway races with so much jostling action. I'm sure someone's like stepping below the double yellow to make a move, shove it down. But in either case, it just changes the dynamic of who's up front. And the people we've seen up front have been doing a tremendous job maintaining their line. Riding along with Bob Brewer now.
Back, there are two cars in the back now. It's 2 to 3, Christopher Jordan, Dale Power, and Chuck McDonald. Which seems to be they lost the draft entirely.
It's really hard to keep it in his tail.
You see one car tagging the wall there. Kept it straight, was able to keep it going. Looks like that was the 07. Greg Langford. Doesn't seem to have done any damage. He was able to keep it straight, but he's losing the draft a little bit. But 77 one, he's inside.
So we talked a lot about on how we tend to see more people on occasion show up to super speedways because the playing field is leveled out quite a bit. And just one that stands out to me already in the second place position currently, Luke Desjardins. We don't see him race a ton, but obviously he's elected to come out tonight and doing a good job so far, sitting there in the second position.
Definitely doing his best to make it happen. A lot of racing to go. I think Tyler slipping in there to the top 5. David Trumbley, who was looking really strong in those first 5 laps, now 5 laps past that, he's fallen back to 4th, 5th place, depending on how hard the wind's blowing, right? I think what
It takes all
Go ahead.
It takes a lot of work to be able to maintain a line and keep it surge forward, and it takes very little to lose all of it and fall backwards.
No, it's very true, and some of the nuances that you're competing to see what's going on track, but a lot of the drivers that are better at the super speedways will kind of ride the inside and then filter up a spot to the outside and filter down a spot to the inside. So you'll kind of see the cream of the crop of super speedways find their way to the front, getting the bumpers lined up, getting the aero they need, and we'll start to see. I'm willing to bet within the next 9 to 15 laps, some of those guys that are the front, and some of the guys that don't have that finesse for the draft kind of start falling back, right? Because we all have strengths and
38 from the wall.
and some guys are better at the
Oh, I love short tracks. Oh man, that's where I got my bread and butter start in real life and in iRacing. Even before, I mean, of course, I bought Daytona. I need to get a feel for what this is, because people told me it's more than a game. I know some people say, you know, it's not a game. It really isn't. It is a simulator, as Microsoft Flight would be a simulator as well. But I got my finesse and I cut my teeth right there on the short tracks here on iRacing to get a feel for the physics, to get a feel of the in-car only. There is no third-person view or first-person view in iRacing. You are in the cockpit. You can't change your view to see what's around you. You have to rely on your technology. As we got a car spinning on the infield. He didn't spin quite entirely, but he did hold it. It was the 25 with Tyler Daniels. But yeah, I mean, a lot of people don't understand what it takes to be a sim racer and why it's a lot of people put a lot of dedication and time into it.
Yeah, I did it for about 3 years while I was involved with the TDR organization pretty deeply, and it's so time consuming to be good at it. I mean, you have to try almost as hard as being out there in real life running these super speedways for these big organizations. It's more than a hobby. It's a hobby, but it's more than a hobby. It requires practice. It requires learning. It requires skill. And everyone out there on the track right now
We've got a wreck.
is demonstrating the ups and downs of that learning process.
No, we got trouble on the track. Everybody's slowing down up here on the track. Get an idea of what happened. I was keeping an eye on Tyler Daniels after his little spin on the infield.
It looked like a 38 Jay Downham might have got a little wobbly there, and super speedway race had nowhere to go once you get turned around.
Yeah, I was thinking that it was actually Jim.
Oh,
Jim,
Jim?
Brian Boyd, Jorge Rincon.
Well, to the Downer brothers, if you're out there listening, I apologize for confusing the two of you.
It was a little difficult to be able to tell for certain the main cause. Oh, Brian got into the rear, and it definitely caused Jim to go around, and then Brian had nowhere to go.
Yeah, that's one of the tough things about these next-gen cars. It's so hard to get hooked up. You really got to be right on it. If you're not right on it, it's gonna be a situation. Sometimes you can save it, sometimes you can't. But
So
that'll
I'd
get it.
fully expect to see everyone come down pit lane.
Yeah, I was just gonna say opportunity for everyone to get some gas.
Yes, sir. And as you say that, here they all come down. Everybody's breaking off, it looks like, from the pace car to come down pit road. Everybody gets on here nice and smooth, no black flags. Black flags are not cleared here at Tyler Daniels Racing. So you want to be careful coming down pit road at 60 miles per hour not to get a black flag. Nice see tires going on, lots of cars here. So it looks like it's a lot of full pit stops going on here. Full tank of Sunoco fuel, 4 Goodyear stickers, and off they go.
And I think that's just opportunity right there to gain positions on pit road because they didn't burn through a full tank of fuel, so they could fill up on fuel faster and not take tires and get off of pit road faster than the guys that took fuel and 4 tires.
No, I agree, and I think a lot of what we saw there is one of the struggles with iRacing is that while it takes a lot of practice, a lot of skill, a lot of dedication, you're out there, you're being your driver, it doesn't come with a crew chief, right? You get the basic, what do you need, and you can kind of tell them, but a lot of people forget to uncheck those tire boxes. A lot of people forget to set how much fuel they take. It's one of the elements that, as a driver, you shouldn't be responsible for, but on the iRacing surface, unless you have a team behind you, you're responsible for making sure how many tires you get, what the air pressures are, and how much fuel you take every pit stop.
You got
So
to
Luke stayed out and did not pit, but we now see him on the apron, so maybe he's going to come down pit road this time. Not sure why he wouldn't have come down the first time, but it does it certainly appears that is where he is headed.
I wasn't going to say anything because I wasn't sure if my $20 would be well spent on a bet on Luke Jordan. When I saw him stay out, I was like, you know what? That's what I would have done. We're early in the race. We got plenty of rubber. All we need is fuel. There's going to be another wreck. Stay out. Keep that position.
So the lights are out on the pace car. We will be going back to green this time, and Andrew Bisonet will be.
Jordan himself out and get back to the field.
So he elected to come down.
Andrew Bisonet will be leading the field back to green with Ryan Walter restarting in second.
It's got me something to see. These restarts are always basically a drag race, but that drag race sets you up for the whole next 10, 20, 30. They probably have about a 40-lap fuel window here, I'm guessing.
Yeah, they're roughly 36 to 38 laps, and we just saw him pit on lap 15. So, if we were to get a green flag run, we would expect to see them sometime around lap 50 to 55.
I presume there's no stages in this series.
We do have a halfway stage. So at the once we complete lap 45, the top 10 will receive stage points.
Very good, very good. Do you fly a yellow at stage completion?
No.
Okay.
No, there is no caution that takes place at the halfway point. We document who was in the top 10 and we keep on rolling.
Sounds good. I like strategy, but I hate math. But the pace car's off, so let's talk about strategy. Here they go.
Green flag drops again, and we are back racing at Daytona International.
Horsepower, they're roaring by.
Everybody keeping it single file behind each other for the most part on this first lap. I'm sure some jockeying for position will be coming up real shortly here.
We saw a small incident there. It wasn't a big one, but that raised everyone's eyebrows. Maybe we need to comment. Maybe we need to, think about the next 60 laps of this race because there's a whole bunch to go on before that checkered flag drops. But both lines looking pretty good together, and here they go, side by side.
Some of those drivers out there feeling real good on 4 tires, brand new, after those pit stops.
I can't think of the term. Oh, placebo effect. That's a placebo effect because nobody needed tires.
No, but unlimited, might as well take them. I would have. Absolutely.
I wouldn't have even pit. I thought for sure Luke Desjardins had the right strategy there. Stay out. But we'll see. Inside line's coming together pretty good. The top three kind of running away a little bit. They'll be chased down by David Tremblay. The inside line seems to have way more cars than the outside, but the outside's trying to get something done there. Oh, I'm sorry, that wasn't David Tremblay. The 33. Can't read the name on the door handle, and I don't have any data in front of me to tell me who that is.
We got the 33. That would be Devin Zimmerman. He drives the 33.
I should have known that.
That's all right.
It's a paint scheme I'm not familiar with, but now that you say that, that number does belong to old Zimmy.
Well, some of us do like to have a fresh paint scheme every week, so it is hard to tell sometimes who is running what from week to week.
Look, it's been a while since I've been here. I'm basically Michael Jordan on the 2311 pickup. I have no idea what's going on, but I love watching
We're glad to have you, that's for certain.
it. I'm glad to be here. It's been a good time already, and I can't wait to see what's going on next. That bottom line's looking really well formed on the inside, but you got three cars there on the outside that are just glued nose to tail. A couple more takers on the outside to push them forward.
They are on their way, that's for certain. They are trying to do everything they can to get formed up to get that top line some momentum.
You see the 77-20 car behind the 20 there. Now they're trying to get a row of six here going. Looks like they're catching up to that pack of three as the top three on the outside is spread out there. Inside line, well formed, but not perfect. And I feel like the outside line is kind of bringing that arrow situation into perfection. I see Bopper Lou has the perfect perspective on the lead car on that outside line, and you got to know he's thinking, "Oh, please don't do that. Please don't make it happen."
Looking up front, it looks like we do have the father and son duo of Dale and Will Weiser leading this race around Daytona International Speedway from Tyler Daniels Next Gen Series Racing.
I've turned many a lap of those two gentlemen, and they are a force to be reckoned with, especially on the shorter tracks. But again, on these super speedways, anybody's game. Anybody's game. I don't care how talented you are. Anybody can win. You're riding along with Jeremy Gaiman here in the back of the pack. There's so much going on, but you see at least the partner in front of him is pretty tight as he goes left, and you can see that bottom line. I mean, the bottom line is in line, but if they could get their bumpers just a little bit tighter lap after lap, you would see that bottom line pull out. And I think that's where the bottom line's winning, by getting a little tighter as they run along. Jay Downham, riding along with him, looking good, sitting at the front of the pack, and even now, you see those front three on the outside, Tremblay forward. Those three are tight. Behind them, that line needs to tighten up a little bit more, otherwise the inside's going to continue to get these awesome runs.
Yeah, that front of the pack there, side by side. The top three are in single file. The P4 position will stay down there. That top line is trying to gain that momentum.
Yeah, the top three on that outside line are really doing a great job of keeping it together. As you see now, Jay Downham now sitting probably P5, is well ahead of the top three that you and I are talking about. They're doing good. From I don't know all the numbers because again I'm sitting in as a guest host, but Tremblay. Oh, you see a little bit of shake up there. Oh no!
Really got loose, yeah. Which checks everybody up behind him. So a little bit of that accordion effect there.
So that's gonna make it
Everybody
worse.
up.
And I don't think Trumley has the air to pull it right now. If I'm on the outside, I'm pulling in. Let's run single file for 20, 30 laps.
Everybody
let's
should collect themselves.
let's empty these tanks before we make any more decisions. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Some green flag laps.
Sometimes that's what it is. I mean, races aren't. It's not a drag race every time. Sometimes you gotta sit down, calm down, assess the situation, and then when everyone needs a full tank of gas, you can start making some moves, especially at these super speedways. Tremendous job by David Trumley getting back up to where his buddies are. I'm impressed. I thought for sure he was going to be sorted out kind of to the other regions of the pack there, but if he can connect with the two guys ahead of him, I mean, they're going to be good for at least P4, P5 as they run. Looking very good, very tight lines. A little bit of wobble. Oh, and you see a move there on the inside at the double yellow. Didn't cross it, but somebody needed that spot pretty quick.
There's a little bit of slicing and dicing going on in the back of that lead pack there as Brian Boyd didn't look to go down from the outside to the inside to keep that momentum going. I didn't think the side drafting was working for him, so he decides, I'm just going to stay down low, boys.
Yeah, looks like Trumley's been kind of hung out to dry with one partner behind him. That outside's not going to work with only two cars. Maybe for a spot or two, which are not going to make it work long term. I think we will see them either sort single file or, you know, hang out the back there, P8, P9, P10.
Take a
But
look
that
back at
inside
the
lines,
second pack. I took a look back and look at the second pack. They're running single file, so they are either just saving, thinking about saving, or watching, being careful.
you know, in amateur motorsports, and it's funny to say amateur at Daytona, right? Daytona is like one of the big spotlight racing things, but iRacing at its heart, it's a hobby, a little more than a hobby, but it's still amateur racing. Watch out for a backpack single file. You get six guys together back there that like want to get up there, and they can do it. They will.
They will. Mm-hmm.
I spent many a race sitting in the back with like 5 friends that I knew could do it. Wait for the big one, and then now we're the kings of the track.
The only thing I ever fear is losing the draft. No matter what, I'm always afraid of losing the draft here because then it throws off your whole race, your pit cycling, your fuel. You're not saving as much as when you would in the draft. So that's my biggest fear, is losing the draft.
Well, no fear, no fear,
No fear, he said.
no fear. No, if you lose the draft, right, you're now in the backpack, so those become your friends, whether you know them or not. And you do
Yeah.
whatever they
No
do.
matter
You
what
line up,
manufacturer running or not, exactly.
you know, you do your best to chase them forward. No reason to be afraid of it, but I agree with you. I do not like being in the back. I would rather I would rather be up front. I can't avoid a wreck to save my life. So if there's gonna be a wreck, please believe I'm starting it.
Or getting in it, right? Yeah, that seems to be a lot of luck. A lot of our luck.
First racing win back in 20 whatever 12, 13 was trucks at Daytona, and it was 100% luck.
Oh, for sure.
Didn't change that.
Not sure if you're still with us.
We were getting some breakup from you there, Tommy. A third of the way into the race. Only one caution so far. Dale Weiser, currently our leader.
And P2 is Will, Double O, Weiser, sitting comfortably behind him, just holding his line, along with the 33 of Devin Zimmerman. Those three have just been smooth, holding that mustard around each lap. So
Devin Zimmerman can be a force to be reckoned with. I will tell you.
oh sure, you can almost tell that he's trying to bide his time, see if there's a slip up where he can make a mistake, and he's holding on to that draft real well. So he's sitting in a comfortable spot.
He's a very smart driver. He's a very clean driver and very analytical. He watches everything on that track. He's so good at saving equipment. It's unreal. He's one of those guys. If he doesn't get involved in an accident, that he's always going to be in my top 10. Any given race, if he's not involved in an incident, no fault of his own, he's just that good at taking care of his equipment, and that really matters at every track, super speedway or not.
I think it's starting to show here as he's sitting comfortable in the P3 spot.
No, I don't
So
disagree.
that second group is really starting to fall back now at this point. If we take a look at the last car currently in this pack, which is Dale Power, and then we go, the next car after that's going to be Tracy Wooten, but then you have to go even further, quite a bit, almost 7 seconds back to these other guys.
We
So
see.
this is Jorge sitting in the 14th position, and you'll see he's diving into turn 3 right now, and our leader Dale is going into the tri-oval on the front stretch. So um, they've definitely lost a fair amount of ground to this pack.
Yeah, absolutely. You mentioned Tracy Wooten, kind of the car sitting there in the middle. If I were Tracy, if you're out there listening, Tracy, drag that brake a little bit, catch that backpack, use those cars to help push you forward. That backpack, even though they're back there, they're looking very tight, they're looking very clean, and I'm willing to bet we're going to see them pit together. And who knows what happens after the next cycle.
Well, he probably won't even have to drag the brake at all. Him being by himself, they're gonna catch him.
I don't know. It's weird sometimes when you really want it. Sometimes you're a little faster than three cars together. We'll see what happens. If he's not able to link up at the front, I wish him the best in trying to connect to the back.
Well, there is a 5-car pack, and then about 5 cars back after that, there's another little small 3-car pack that is catching the 5-car pack. So he'll have that chance to hook back up with these or fall back in line in between the two if they do catch him. But most likely, what I think is that he'll end up passing or catching. Well, as I'm looking at that, as I say that 3-car line has caught that 5-car line and now is too wide in that back pack. So yeah, they're catching up to Tracy Wooten now, and they are now too wide themselves.
Oh, it's just wasteful. Why waste
Yeah,
all that air? Line up, catch up.
catch that back pack or catch the back of that lead pack. That way you're staying right up there with them. But they're about a whole backstretch back
And
behind that lead pack.
they're running lap times that are upwards
Comparable.
of a second slower. If we take a look at Jorge's lap time,
Yeah, I mean there's not a lot of jostling going on back there. I mean there is, but there isn't. And this is one of the reasons why I wish iRacing could hire crew chiefs for people or spotters at least. If someone would just tell these people in the back, hey, go single file, ride the inside, you'll be there in like a second. just a little bit of fighting for position in the back, which, in my opinion, this isn't what I would do. I would be on that race calm. Hey guys, we got to line up. We got to line up to catch the pack. Got to line up to catch the pack. I know Chuck
Yeah.
McDonald's doing that. Chuck
I know a
McDonald's
lot
saying,
of
"Hey
times
guys, get in
it's
line, get in line."
a lot of times it can be easier said than done. I mean, we see it in the Cup Series as well in real life where
Hmm.
10 laps to go and you got guys running stuck in the middle of the pack and it's like, look, you can't win from there, but but they don't want to leave the spot either.
I mean, if you're not, in my opinion, if you're not gonna win, you have to do everything you can to try to get that W, try to get those points, try to survive your series, right? Whatever you're racing in. And if you're that far in the pack, hey, go find some friends, start talking to them, get on the race comms, because you don't have crew chiefs to communicate all that for you and I racing all the time. Hey, let's go single file. Let's go 9 cars deep and roll this inside line for 5 to 10 laps, and then you're there. You could make a whole third line out of the guys in the back as long as they're lined up and pushing. You got to build a freight train behind the podium, so to speak. Those guys up front might be up front. If these guys at back can get their stuff together and get lined up, they can do it. They're just as fast. But that is racing, isn't it?
Oh yeah.
Absolutely.
Sometimes the egos get in the way of logic, and that's happened to me multiple times.
Yep, I'm one of the most guilty of worrying about my own position
Hmm.
when I should be thinking about the other people around me too. It's not like I want you to win, but like I need you to help.
And there's a wreck in that backpack. It looks like the 77 had gotten together. The 74 got into it a little bit, so we do have a caution on the track.
Yeah, and that's part of it. Why jockey for position back there? If and it's not a fault of the drivers, right? Like it's just the communication system, the heads up system. These guys don't have spotters. Some might, but like not everyone has a spotter. Like if everyone was dialed in, that backpack could have caught up so quick. And now we just have a little bit of carnage back there to slow everybody down. Yeah, 77 just got a little loose. No big deal.
So we had that incident between Bill Kirkstra, Greg Langford, and Christopher Jordan, which unfortunately for Christopher, he was back there minding his own business.
It's unfortunate. An incident in a super speedway. There's no blame to be placed at things like this. You get loose. It's wild out there, but it just for me as someone who has done it a lot and watched it a lot. Like if the back group could have just got together, lined it up, man, they could have been there. And I believe Christopher Jordan was the newcomer, who's my guy. So hopefully he has a
Doesn't
quicker
look like
better
he had
lap.
gotten too much damage there when he collided. He may have touched just a little bit when I was watching the replay. It doesn't look like he has that much damage at all, so he may fare okay.
He's still my guy. Underdog all the time. We got like 10 more races before I retire NASCAR fanship and I just start rooting for the underdog.
I have to tell him I'm going to be a little biased. He is a buddy of mine I do run with on a team, so I am pulling for the 74 too, for sure. So I have to be a little biased about him.
Who's
Boy,
driving the 74?
74 is Chris Jordan, like the gentleman driver we were just speaking of.
Yeah, yeah. We're same team, buddy.
So I have to be a little biased about my buddy. So
It's funny that I don't drive anymore. I just don't have time to prepare for races and do it and all that. But like I would love to like do like a one night a week, be a spotter for somebody.
I just started getting into that as well, the broadcasting thing, and that's been a ton of fun to learn. And crew chief, because you can also crew chief while you're spotting for him. You can take over the crew chief, so the driver doesn't have to really worry about anything. You can communicate. They can tell you if they want tires. You can decide not to
Yeah.
give them to them if you want or not. They can absolutely check them back on if you want. But there's
I'm a
been
big fan of that because like if you know racing, you're much better. Like honestly, as much as you love driving the race car, if you really know racing, you're better suited to sit on the booth or sit up in the stands and spot, right? Like, because
Mm.
you're analyzing the situation, feeding that info, and the info is what makes great drivers. Great drivers are a lot younger than me.
Yeah, agreed.
You
Uh,
know?
we're broadcasting with one of them right now. Ethan's a really great driver as well in his own right.
He
And he's
is.
a bit younger than us, so I'll have to attest to that. What you said is very truthful.
No, but I love the communities. I was a huge part of TDR for a while. I love being in the booth with you guys. Like the iRacing communities around the leagues that are being raced are tremendous. You know, where's the Facebook group for spotters and crew chiefs?
Right.
Those people need to show up because those people can make the league racing that much better.
I'm going to start stepping up our game, I guess, huh? You heard it here
Yeah,
first, folks.
that's what's missing. Like super speedway racing in TDR, everyone's gonna run you clean, everyone's their best, but like you gotta have spotters. You gotta have like the guy that says, "Don't pit." You don't need to.
Stay out, bud. Stay out.
Well, it looks like we've got some differentiating strategies here.
I see that.
Looks like Jeremy Gaiman is now going to be our leader, and he stayed out, as well as Chuck and McDonald, both elected not to pit. It's going to be very interesting to see how that plays out, because if they end up having to pit under green, it could get really interesting on whether or not they lose a lot of spots. But we'll
I'm a
try to
big,
let's try to grab Jeremy real quick.
absolutely. I'm a big fan of the call.
Hey Jeremy, it's myself, Josh, and Tommy up in the booth. You got us?
Yes, sir.
Hey, so we see that you're going off, and you're gonna do a little bit different strategy than everybody else, at least with Chuck. You know, what made you think to stay out right here?
Stage points are more important to me at this point. I figure that there's definitely probably going to be another caution, so the fuel strategy is not so important. We'll make that up later. I think it's more important to get those stage points right now.
Well, it sounds like it's going to be a pretty good call here, since once we go green, we're only going to have 2 laps left
Yep.
in the stage. So you're definitely going to be sitting in a really good spot to be able to bring home some stage points, if not the stage win.
Yeah, that's what we're hoping for. Let's hope it works out.
Hey, it's the right call. Fight them off.
All right, well, we're going to get you back up there and go get that stage win.
All right, thanks.
All right, so there you have it. He's Jeremy's looking for stage points, and put himself in a really good spot to be able to do that. And we'll see if he can hold on and get that with 2 to go in the stage.
I think he can. Like I said, right call. Fight them off. Get your points. If that's what you're fighting for in this race, in this series, like I said, I'm sitting in as a guest 3 races in. We're going green, so I want to interrupt that thought to watch some of this go on.
I love that feeling going into turn 1 here at Daytona, man. Woo! Fun watching it, too.
Mm-hmm.
Now, how much aggression? Oh, Jeremy's getting shuffled into the middle. He's going to lose a ton of ground. We see Devin drop from the top to the bottom to take the lead on the inside line.
Well, I still think it's the right call that he made. He's looking for points. He's trying to get them, and I think some other people just wanted those points a little bit more, and were a little more aggressive than even I would think. You know, halfway through this race. Well, here come your points. Blah blah blah.
So Chuck McDonald brings home the stage win. And Jeremy Gaiman is falling back to the 11th position.
Before or after points were awarded.
So whether or not he actually got any stage points,
The 04 is looking on the outside of the 33. And he does get around him with the help of the 30.
Chuck McDonald's one to watch. He's very crafty. He's not always the fastest guy out there. He's not always the one really tearing it up. But watch his strategy. He will fight through a pack like nobody's business. And I don't know if he has a spotter, but I'm pretty sure he pays somebody to tell him what to do because he is that good.
Yeah, taking a look here at the in rig cam, if you will, Devin Zimmerman, and he's got an interesting little outfit going on tonight.
He's a happy bear. Look at him. Look at that. Oh, thanks for that, Devin. That's amazing.
It looks a lot warmer than I feel right now.
Heck yeah.
And I'm in Florida. Fall's a coming, boys.
Yeah,
Frost is
it's
coming.
gonna be a cold one. It's gonna be a cold one, I think, this winter. Actually, it's cold out here too today and yesterday. It's been pretty chilly out here in the mountain desert.
Oh, you know cold air is good for horsepower, right?
It is.
Yes, it is.
I know my 2011 Hyundai Excel loves the cold air.
Good push here by Devin Zimmerman. Kind of making Chuck McDonald work for it. He's pushing so hard. I wouldn't be surprised if Devin Zimmerman surpasses him. At some point, he's well positioned to do so. The car's clearly got the horsepower.
Question I have is, which one's Devin?
33.
The left or the right?
It's a hard call. I'm gonna go with the guy with the relaxed eyes. I don't think anything bothers Devin. I think he's really in his element when he's out there on the track fighting for it. I remember doing post-race interviews with Devin, and he was always so calm and collected. Like, yeah, we had a good one, yada yada. Here's my 19 sponsors. You know, looking good there in P2 though, chasing down Chuck. And I think Chuck can hold him off, but at this point in the race, it's still anybody's game. But those two are definitely two to look at. David Trumley, I mentioned earlier, still looking strong, leading that outside line.
As they bobble a little bit, but everybody holds it together.
Yeah, just gotta get tightened up. That outside line can do so much right now. David Trumley's sinking almost 6 deep, leading the outside line there. They get a run, he'll push up to P4, P3 at best, and then the outside line seems to fall apart. I just don't think there's enough cars up there to keep it consistent. But
From my vantage point, you got the 00. Will Weiser pushing that 96.
I was just going to say, I'm often wrong, so don't listen to me. I'm just watching what I see, boys.
Well, it's super speedway, so
Now, see right here, he's getting pushed up to P2. See if the two Mustangs there change position for the lead. Chuck McDonald to the inside of Trumley.
oh, looks like we got a wreck. We got a wreck.
We got a wreck in the back.
Trouble.
That's going to bring out a yellow nobody wants to see. And then by nobody, I mean the 96 and 4.
It looks like we had the 27 that was spun around, a Tracy Wooten. 66 of Bob Relu, looks like he was involved.
Oh, shame for Bob. Bob's a hell of a driver. Can I say hell? Do you have a bleep button for that? Hold on.
Bob was just trying to get back in line and came across the nose of Jay Downham.
Oh, yeah. It is what it is.
Yeah, he looks like he got scraped up against the wall, and then him and the Found them got together, which pushed him into the 27 of Wooten. You hate to see that for any of them.
Well, this worked out really well for Chuck and Jeremy Gaiman because I guarantee you they had 10 laps or less of fuel, and they were going to have to come in under green.
I mean, typically in a race, I know what to do, but in the situation where I don't, I'm gonna do what Devin's doing. His track record precedes my knowledge base. If Devin's doing it, that's what I'm doing. But again, I'm often wrong.
Keeping an eye on the cars that were involved in that incident, seeing if they're going to come down and get any service here on pit road, possibly bang out any dents, put some bear bond on that car, and get them back into aerodynamic shape.
I see Trumpley there landed at P1 after the flag dropped. I'm wondering if he's going to maybe try hanging out on the inside. I mean, obviously he has to defend both lanes coming to the restart, but he's at a fast car. As we see him tucking in now.
A lot of action going down on pit road right now. Only looks a few cars elected to stay out at the moment. Looks like the 78 of Brian Boyd stayed out, and the 77 of Bill Kirkstra stayed out. As we see David Trumbley come out
Trumpley on
first.
and off quick.
33 right behind him. 69 files in right behind that. Along with the 30 of Dale Weiser. Ryan Walters falling in behind him.
Yeah, David Trumley's looking at that stop clock right now going, man, why couldn't that have been a green flag stop?
There's a lot of those boys that are
That was,
thinking
that was quick, boy. That was an impressive stop by the Trumbley team. Brian Boyd sitting up front now. Back when I raced with Brian Boyd, he was still looking for his first TDR win. And since I've left the on-track racing and been watching, he's had a couple under his belt now. So he's not unfamiliar with victory lane.
No, he's a seasoned vet now.
Yeah, he is. Look at him. Really proud of that guy. Put in a lot of work. Now, who is that between Boyd and Trumbley in is that a Mark Martin scheme?
Let's see.
That's the 77 of Bill Kirkstra that he'll get sorted back once the pace car comes across the line here.
Yeah, it does look like kind of like a throwback to Mark Martin, Johnny Benson.
I was gonna give him some props. I didn't know people his age, presuming he's younger than I am, know who Mark Martin are anymore. He used to race on a phone book. He was too short for the driver.
Too short. That's right.
That was back before these custom seats and everything. Alright, so he's going to get sorted out here as they line up. It looks like Boyd to the inside, Trumley to the outside. Devin Zimmerman pushing Boyd's going to be a force to be reckoned with. Can you guys let me know who's behind Trumley there?
Devin Zimmerman, Bob Burlow pulling up that next row, and then Dale Power, Tracy Wooten, 74 Chris Jordan, and then Bill Kirkstra. He's falling to the back.
Yeah, Kirkstra's going to fall back to the tail end of the field here. Looks like, is that Biznett in the 69?
It is.
Yes.
He's finally abandoned that lime green pink camo thing he was doing.
I'm a paint scheme guy, so now I gotta zoom in to see what you're.
Oh no, it's not on the card. Trust me, you would know if he was
I
still
know.
running that paint scheme. It's so it was
Right.
so ugly. Which is fine. Run the paint you want. but it was up in the booth, man, it hurt your eyes. But Andrew Bisnett, another force to be reckoned with. Got some really big names up here in the top line. Weiser back to 5th. You got Walter back there, Luc Desjardins.
Pace
Those
cars
cars
dropping
falling
off.
off.
Yep. There we go. Going back to green flag racing. As it waves in the air, we're back green here at Tyler Daniels Racing at Daytona International Speedway. Thanks for joining us here on YouTube and YouTube land. Caution's out again. Looks like we got a wreck in the back, guys.
Oh, that was a quick one. Wait, well before we could say hit that like, share, and subscribe. Luckily, it was in the black and it won't set up. It won't affect anyone up front too badly.
Not exactly sure who was involved in that. So we
Looks like
come back and try to
Jay
get
Downham
an
back there,
idea.
or Jim Downham. I'm sorry.
Oh, they just stacked up.
Yeah, yeah. That Mission 22 car there didn't get off to a good launch.
Is it Will Weiser, Jorge?
It looked like one of the cars got in the back of the other. Yeah.
That's the way it
After
goes
that,
sometimes.
nowhere to go after that.
If more than 2 cars are involved, the one guy you can't blame is the one up front. It's the fault of everybody behind them. It won't affect the boys up front too much. You know, they'll get reset. We'll get ready to go for another one again. Brian Boyd, I'm sure, is it. What do the kids say? Peaking. His anxiety is peaking right now.
Peaking. Yes. I would have to agree with you.
Yeah, just had him a good restart. Got to set himself up out front. Stayed out front, and then now he's got to do it all over again. And he's got a name behind him, Devin Zimmerman, who I think will line up P2.
He will.
Oh, oh no, we see Brian Boyd peeking into the pits.
It's a very interesting choice
Interesting
for
strategy.
Brian to go down the pits because he stayed out, and we didn't even run a single lap from the point that he took. But maybe he said that, hey, I just wanted to get a bonus point for leading the lap.
Maybe he's taking on right sides, full tank, full can of Sunoco fuel, trying to see if left sides are going on the Brian Boy machine as we see a bunch of other people coming down as well.
Well, he wants all the tires, and a bunch of back markers joined him, and I wonder if. I mean, he has the talent to fight his way through a draft pack. They're going to line up. It's going to be green flag. Everyone's going to be stacked up. Maybe he's betting that that's going to be enough to get him to the end. Maybe. Maybe.
It might just be enough.
It's
Yeah,
kind
maybe.
Actually, yes. For Brian, he will be
maybe.
able to get to enough.
Yeah.
He will have enough to get to the end.
So any other yellows? I mean, he's good.
Now these other drivers, and the front, they last pit on lap 53, and we said that it was around 36 to 38 laps of fuel. So 36 would put you up to lap 89, which would put you just right on the edge of whether or not you're going to make it. But if we have more cautions, you save fuel under those cautions, then
It's tight. I expect to see at least one more yellow. I think that was a really good pit call. I don't know if Brian Boyd has a crew chief, but if it's himself, he's pretty good north of it.
I think these guys are more than likely going to be able to make it that have stayed out. If we have a couple green white checkers, that could be a different case scenario. But as far as just being able to get to the scheduled distance, I believe that they will be able to get there.
Well, time will tell. I support the call. I think even though he was up there in the front, I feel like he felt like he needed something, right? Whether it be a little bit of rubber, a little bit of fuel. Came in, got it. He's good. So he knows he's good. And then he brought all the back markers in with him. So he didn't lose a ton of position, right? He lost half the pack, and in a super speedway race, half the pack is shit. Pardon my language. Half a second on a given night.
Oh yeah, for sure.
I think he's positioned himself well to be the one.
Yeah, we'll have 30 laps to go next time by, so you may be right.
Yeah.
Taking a look at the back of the pack, we do have a lot of strong, fast cars coming from the back that can work their way up as well. So it's
Mm-hmm.
going to be interesting to see.
Yep, and those people that just pit, even though they've been in the back for the most part of the race, they don't have to worry about gas. Full
Right.
throttle. Let's go. Oh,
Let's
you want
go.
me to push you? I'm gonna go around you. I mean,
Nothing to lose.
they're done. Now the guys up front do have to conserve a little bit. They got to think about their equipment. What if we get 3 green, white checkers, which isn't unheard of in a super speedway race, right? A
Mhm.
lot of variables, and that's why I said I don't like math, but I love strategy. This is going to be something to see as the lights go off, and we're going to see this pace car dip in here. Devin Zimmerman lining up inside P1, 30 on the outside. David Tremblay, who I've been talking about all night, now sitting in P3, right behind one of the guys who I expect to fully go the full distance. This is going to be something else. Andrew Bisnet sitting right there. This is going to be something to watch, boys.
I'm excited.
Pace car's off. Coming through the trial. We're about to go green. Can I
Let's
say
go.
boogity boogity boogity, or is that
Do it.
trademark? No. Boogity boogity boys.
There it goes.
Can't do it.
Atta
I,
boy.
I feel
Andrew
like my
Bisnet didn't waste any time getting from the outside down into the bottom. Left Dale up there by himself.
No. Hey, there's no friends with 30 to go. 20 to go. 30 to go. Again, I'm not good at math. 30 to go. No friends. No, right call. That inside line's been more consistent than the outside line. The outside line has brought more speed, but only if they can make it work. That inside line is more consistent, and I think Bisnet put himself right where he wants to be. As they split right here, David Trumley looking to the outside for some friends, gets the block. Now David Trumley's sorting himself to the inside line because, hey, that's the place to be, right?
And that outside line is starting to form now. 3 guys in there. Brian's coming up there to make it a 4th car. David Tremblay moves to the high side, making
Yep.
it.
So does a
No
Will
fear.
Weiser in the double O now, making it too wide in that whole front pack.
No fear. No fear. Took the momentum and took it for a ride as we see them
There they go.
outside line was 2 cars to the good coming into 3 and 4. Lost a little bit as Chuck McDaniel sorted himself down to the bottom, but I think David Tremblay has some support behind him. And again, like I mentioned at the beginning of this race, the cream of the crop, the guys that know how to draft, the guys that know how to move, are going to sort themselves to the front. That's how this works. And we're seeing an excellent demonstration of some guys that know how to draft right up front, right here. Top 6, top 7 looking tight. Outside 1 car advantage. Shit, that's pardon my language again. Outside 5, 9 car advantage. We're looking really tight on the outside.
And Brian Boyd was thinking about going to the inside where he thought last minute not to. So that inside line started moving in, so he dipped back up.
You gotta ride with the points. I don't know. I know we're 3 races in. I'm not familiar with the point standings in this particular series, but it's not always about winning the race, right? Ride with the guys that'll help get you there, whether it's 10 points, 9 points, 7 points, whatever. If you're not gonna win, get points.
For sure.
Points are so critical over the long game. Everyone loves to win a race, but trophies are worth so much more when they have the entire season on them versus a trophy.
And you want to make sure that you get yourself situated in that top 16, so that way you'll be eligible to be a part of the playoffs.
Absolutely. Chuck McDonald just sorting himself to the outside ahead of Trumbley, looking at P1 right now, coming through the tri-oval. Trumbley giving a good push there. Devin Zimmerman pushing the 30 ahead. Andrew Bisnet a little further back than the outside line. The outside line still looking a little more organized. I found the average driver in the outside line tends to be put together a little better than the inside line, but the inside line seems to do better overall around the whole track. Having that yellow line as a reference point, kind of keeping them in line. Oh, this is good racing.
And have an exit. That's why I like the low lines. I always have an exit if I need. I'll take the 1X running over the grass. I'll mow a little lawn if it avoids me getting into a wreck.
I go up the middle.
Side draft is always a great feeling.
I go up the middle. Somebody come with me. If you're not coming with me, I'll find a place to hang out. But every chance I get, I go up the middle. Because no one knows how to deal with it. They're like, oh shit, a car. Well, block me or follow me because I'm going up the middle. Also, I've only won one super speedway race, and it was like 8 years ago, so take that advice for what it's worth.
Competition is fierce nowadays.
It is, it is. That's why I can't do it anymore. I don't have the amount of time it takes to dedicate to being able to win one of these things, because these kids are good. As we watch now, Bisnet Zimmerman. Who's in the 30 again?
That's Dale Weiser.
Dale Weiser. So top three right now: Weiser, Zimmerman, Bisnet. All names I'm well familiar with. Their paint schemes have changed over the year, but three guys that are hard to compete with, and they're bringing that inside line along. David Trumbley and Chuck McDonald doing their best to make that outside line happen, but I
Well,
think
21 of the 9 got together and we got a wreck in the back. Trouble on the track.
that's going to bring out a yellow, stack it all up, and we get to do this all over again. I'm curious, pit strategy here. So everyone should be good. Nobody should need tires unless they've neglected to change right sides at least once. Yeah, just a little upset there. He'll get sorted through pit lane.
You may see 1 or 2 people come in maybe to top off just to make sure that they're okay for the go.
You know who won't? Brian
Interesting.
Boyd.
Brian Boyd will stay on.
That's right, and a whole bunch of back markers that came with them. So if anybody feels like they need to top off, it's gonna be people from up front. And anyone who doesn't, but maybe they should have, is also going to be people from up front. Everyone in the back after Boyd popped in and the back markers joined them, they're good. They're good on gas. They're good on rubber, I presume. The leaders here are going to have to fight off a hungry field that's more prepared than they are, depending on how the pit scenario cycles out.
Taking a look at pit road, the 21 who was involved with that with the 9 is taking on some tires. Probably a good idea after flat spotting them.
Yeah, the only time you're taking tires at a super speedway under 100 laps is if you've had an incident. Otherwise, like you said earlier in the broadcast, right sides only if I really
Right
need
sides
them.
only.
But I'm a big fan of shit, no tires. I don't need tires. If I do, right sides only.
Shoot, yeah, for sure. There's been many times where I've forgotten to uncheck and taken 4, but then was glad that I did. So sometimes that happens too. The wonderful world of sim racing.
It is a wonderful. We need to build a community of spotters and crew chiefs. That's if I ever find the time to embark on a mission, that'll be the mission. Looking beautiful now. The sun's set. That track is cool and sticky.
Taking a look at the track temperature on pit road, so I'm assuming it'd be the same on the track. Would be 71 degrees.
Ooh,
So it
two
has cooled
degrees
down.
from nice. Cycling through here. Another opportunity. Last opportunity, I believe, to come in and get anything if you need it. See, one guy back there faking. No takers, obviously.
Oh, the old pit rower Rooney trying to get everybody to go in. That's happened to me once, and that never happened to me again.
You know what? I fake it every time. I don't care. If we're under caution, I'm not gonna lose my spot. You better believe I'm going to the pit road until I'm not. Every chance I get, fake it. Maybe you send somebody way back. Oh, I should see the lights coming off this lap by. They're getting lined up there. The 30 on the inside. Old Weiser. Zimmerman gonna be sorted out to the outside if he's starting P2. I assume you guys don't do like a choose cone or anything in this series?
No, we do not.
Okay, so they sort out all the way back. So that's gonna put Biznet behind Weiser. Who's in the car behind Biznet? The black and
That is
blue.
that is Luke Desjardins.
Oh, Luke Desjardins, look at him. Got me starting P4. Fast guy, and is that Brian Boyd sorting in behind them?
Yeah, sitting right behind Andrew Bisnet with Chuck McDonald behind him. That the top four in that inside line. Uh, I think that they're going to be really tough to beat right now, as far as a inside versus outside lane.
They are, and Brian Boyd, looking at him through the laps, picking people off. He's got the fuel, he's got the tires. He is in the best position to make moves and not have to conserve anything. Not having data or feedback on the other drivers, I know he's the best position. I don't know where the other drivers around him are at, but I know the position is him because he's the last one to get fresh everything.
No, we did have some in the back of the field pit here on lap 67, so we know that there's some back there that have some newer tires than Brian, but as far as guys that are running up front, he definitely has the newest
Yep.
of anyone currently running up there. The next closest would be Jay Downham, currently sitting in ninth.
Yeah, and ninth is nothing to be ashamed of. That's top 10 right there. The guys behind these leaders now also have nothing to lose, and they don't have to conserve, so they can be the ones either pushing the lines. They could also be the ones making some moves here with just a handful of laps to go in this race. Pace car any second is gonna make that hard left.
There it goes.
Wave that flag, Barney. They're in the restart zone.
Green flag is out. We're back racing.
21 laps to go.
Whew. Oh, Weiser off to a commanding start, but the arrow's gonna make a change. Here, Devin Zimmerman looking tight on the inside. Inside line's forming very well, sorting Brian Boyd to the outside almost all by himself.
Going into turn 3 here. Still not all sorted out. Still have a couple too wide racing going on. Coming out of 4.
Top 6, top 7 are pretty much looking where they're at. Look at one car thinking outside, but thinking better of it. 20 laps to go. It's not the time to make a move to win the race. It's time to kind of figure it out. If they can get another line going, that'd be great. But right now, your top 6 are probably going to stay that way until 2 to go, 3 to go. Everybody looking good, really in control. Don't see a ton of wavering between the cars. The outside line being the most dynamic of them, just kind of trying to get something together. Because we see a bunch of cars jump up high all of a sudden. Coming into 3 and 4 here.
Trying to get that second line momentum working, I believe.
Oh,
Oh,
David
it looks.
Trumley.
Oh, Will
Oh, good.
Weiser, David Trumley, Bob Burlew, Jeremy Gaiman, all involved there.
The yellow flies again.
Yeah, I saw a little bit of wiggle out of Trumley there in the backfield. I wonder if
Oh, it looks like the 96 got in the back of the double O a little bit there on my replay.
yeah, that one car we're watching there, the double O, he checked up a little bit, maybe off the corner, a little bit loose. Trumley kind of chased him.
Down low and then got loose himself,
Yeah, he was kind of looking to get out of it, and then he got loose himself, trying to kind of stay away. That's what causes the initial contact there, and then
which
from
caused
there,
the, yeah,
anyone
Bob
behind that,
Burlow.
it's a matter of luck. Shame to see Bob Burlew catching Trumley like that. Bob Burlew's been running a great race.
It looked like Jeremy Gaiman may have gotten into that.
Well, it kind of, to me, it kind of looked like the '05 of Casey Wynn uh, got into the back of David Trumley just a little bit, and that's what got his car upset. Therefore,
Oh, yeah.
just domino affecting up there towards Will.
Yeah, it's one of the hard parts about super speedway racing is like anytime there's an incident, it's nobody's fault. Like there's so much going on, there's so much air involved. Cars shutting down. Super speedway racing is there's
We
and being able
we're,
to
we got a lot of breakup from you there, Tommy.
Look at a couple of cars coming down pit road to get some service after that incident here on the track. Keep an eye on that for you here while we watch the cars go around. Got the 9 coming down, the double O. Will Weiser. Bill Burlew's in. David Trumley. Jeremy Gaiman. All the cars that were involved in that incident coming down to get some service here.
so who's everybody's favorites out there in the booth?
It,
Everybody's favorites out there on YouTube.
we're still having a little bit of trouble from your end there, Tommy.
I apologize for any extra noise you hear in the mic.
I'm not sure if you're just far away from your computer at the moment, but
And the 09 is now away, coming down pit road, leaving after his services after the incident there. He was involved with David Trumley, double O Will Weiser, and Bob Burlow. Looks like Will Weiser's now getting away, making his way down pit road along with Bill Burlow in that 66. 96 is still sitting on pit road, getting some of that repair there done before heading back out here onto the track. 73 laps and 90 down. Tyler Daniels Racing Next Gen Series. 30 car Dale Weiser holding that position 1 with David Zimmerman, who's been pretty strong here all night, keeping himself in the top 5, holding that P2 position. Andrew Bisnett, 3rd place. Ryan Walters holding it 4th, and Luke Desjardins holding that 5th spot. Right on his heels will be the 78 of Brian Boyd.
I mean, a lot of talent up there. Weiser, Zimmerman, Bisnett, Walters, Boyd, Downham has stuck himself into P7. You got Chuck
He's made a
McDonald
lap
up
back.
there.
Actually made his lap back. He was a lap down for a little bit.
Yeah. Jim Downham's another one you got to watch out. You can put him a lap down. He'll come back. You won't even see it happening. He'll come
Jay
back.
Downham right next to him. Jorge Rincon. Casey Wynn running out the top 10 as we come back to green flag racing here in a few moments. Pit car
Absolutely.
dips down onto pit road. Pretty strong cars on the outside row here. It's going to be interesting to see if they can get the momentum after the green flag drops here to get around that inside line. Whereas you'll have 33 of Devin Zimmerman, 10 of Luke Desjardins, Brian Boyd be on the
We're
outside.
getting really close to the point in the race where any kind of friendships that you may have had during the race are going to be gone. It's going to be every man for himself.
I'm sure it'll be very quiet in the Discord driver room.
Here it comes.
Pace car's about to dip off here as Dale Weiser brings him to the Geico restart zone. We're about to go back to green flag racing. Green flag drops.
Run by the 30 wide of their Andrew, but in that hot off his tail, making that outside line look foolish.
Ryan Walter dove down third car on the bottom in
Devin
that
Brian
number
Boyd
49.
Zimmerman's gonna need some help to make it work. Brian Boyd up to P4.
Yeah, it's kind of Devin and Brian usually work pretty well together. I mean, I know that I talked about friendships being gone, but I was kind of surprised that he elected to not stay behind Devin.
I think 15 laps to go. Your friends are the ones right in front of you and right behind you. It's hard to sign up to ride the outside for 15 laps.
That backpack that we've been talking about here has decided it's too late to hang back. It's time to go, boys, and they're trying to make their run on the that front pack there.
That front pack's nice, clean, neat, and tidy. It's like these guys figured out how to race all of a sudden. Andrew Bisnat looking well poised to take the win from Weiser, if that should be the case.
So would you guys rather be leading the race, or would you rather be in second place on the last lap?
I'm still in the second pack. Oh, the last lap? No, I want to be in first.
I'm thinking third or fourth place. That way I can keep an eye on what's going on there. If something happens, I get to sneak on by.
No, last lap, I want to be up front. I want to control. That's all I got at this point. What little semblance of control I can have, please. But I've been in Bisnat's position. I think he's in a great position to come away and take it. But I want to be where that 30's at right now. That's where I want to be.
Because what Andrew could do is if he Brian gets put into the wall, looks like.
Oh no, there's trouble.
Yeah, let's come bring out a yellow right here. We got one.
Oh, and the 09 spuns the 74. The 96 is in the side of the 74 in the backpack. Two separate racing incidents.
Just watching this stresses me out because I picture myself in the car like, what am I doing? I'm freaking out. That's what I'm doing.
After the initial contact with Brian Boyd into the wall, the backpack looked like they were checking up, and that's when, it looks like the 09 gets in the back of the 74 and damages him pretty good. Maybe the 77 has a little bit of damage as well.
A little bit of pinching, a little bit of scrubbing. I don't think we're
I
gonna
would say that this is very fortunate for Brian as we go and look back at the incident here on the back stretch. He's got.
This was the front pack right before the backpack. Because I think the backpack checked up in response to this action right here.
Trying to see if that was
It's pretty good contact with the
Jim
wall.
Downham. And it just kind of looked like Brian kind of. I'm not sure if Brian moved down, and then Jim just tried to follow, or if
Yeah, it looks
we
like
got or if we had a push. To know if we go to.
well, let's say it looks like he's kind of chasing the draft. There is what it looks like from that angle, but that's a tough angle to read. See, I think Jim's sitting back there, just kind of following him, reading his line, right? Because he needs to stay in that air. You see
It
Brian
kind of
come
looks
down a
like
little bit.
Brian came down and then Jim just kind of tried to follow a little bit and got him right there in the right rear.
Yeah, I think Jim was pushing Brian there, and then when Brian came down, Jim kind of tried the chase, and I think the bumpers were just a little too connected. That there wasn't a gap there, and the sheet metal rubbed, and that happened.
So it's definitely very fortunate for those guys that were just involved in that.
Could have
That a
been a lot.
caution came out immediately afterwards for something else because
Could have been a lot
um,
worse.
they're able to come down pit road now, take fast repair if they have one, or come in and try to get any damage fixed.
Absolutely no fault on Downham there in the 28, but I think Brian probably caught the worst of that. I don't know how much aero you need this long into the event, how many repairs you have to get if you've already burned that fast repair, but I don't think I've seen Brian involved in a major incident, so if he does have some substantial damage, he should be able to come in there and get a QR and get back on track and look pretty.
Well, he did. He was in an incident earlier, so he may have taken one.
Well, we'll find out.
I want to say when he was in the
His
pits earlier that
his
he they only did
his
optional.
his pit stop was only 15 seconds long. If we take a quick look here. Yep, he had a fast repair still.
Yep, fresh rubber, good to go.
It's like the same thing for the 74. He had a quick pit stop as well, so it looks like he maybe still had a backup car on the hauler. He was able to pull that out.
Right. I do appreciate the fast repair in iRacing, however we quantify it as broadcasters, right? Like it's a hobby, but a little more than a hobby. And to go out there and do a race, like you get wrecked out, oh, it sucks so bad. But to have that quick repair in your back pocket, pull it out, hey, I'm back on track. It makes the racing that much more competitive.
Oh, for sure, especially with 10 laps to go.
Like obviously, it's impossible in the real world, but I love that value added benefit of the iRacing service. It really is a good thing when it comes to the caliber of competition, race after race. As we see Bismack going to be leading the outside line here. I think we last mentioned him when he was back in P4 as a contender. Um, well poised to take something from somebody. He's well poised to take it right now from Mr. Weiser up there in P1. Just a handful of cars out at this point, so we still got a lot of drivers still in this race as they come down the backstretch and get sorted into position. Everyone looks like they're in line. I think everyone's ready to go.
No, with 10 laps to go, I wouldn't be surprised with that after that incident to see the 78 coming up through the pack like an upset teenager. So it's not over yet.
Yeah, there's going to be some emotions out there for sure. I think they all sit outside of the top five, but it's super speedway racing. A couple good moves can get you right up there with the big boys. Luke Desjardins sitting back there in P6, looking hot to trot. Now right here, as the pace car pulls off, they need to get nose to tail between the respective lines inside and outside. And whichever line does it best is going to push the guy leading that line to the front as the pace car pulls off and we are about to go green.
Geico restart zone and green flag.
10 laps to go.
See, neither line was really well connected there. The inside just did a little better job than the Andrew Bisnet, giving it the lead to the outside line to the inside, following that arrow. Luke Desjardins, P5, looking to put 5 cars on the inside ahead of that outside line. A lot of jockeying for air, a lot of jockeying, seeing who's going to go with who.
Oh, we got trouble. We got trouble.
Yeah, in the backfield,
21
it's
was
still
involved.
going to draw the yellow. See, The lack of connection, that's one of the things that I don't like about the iRacing service is like these guys need spotters. These guys need people telling them where they're at. I wish everybody out there could have somebody in their ear saying car high, car low. The
Well,
iRacing,
they have come a little bit of ways with some updates on the spotting where it has worked a lot better. And there are some overlays that you can use, which I use, that shows me a visual aid on my screen of where the car is next to me, like at my bumper, at my door, and at my. So there are a bunch of visual aids you can use, but yeah, there is a huge benefit of having a live person who's actually watching
yes.
your rear chase and calling out stuff in front of you and behind you. And
Yep. I'm right there with you. I used all the race labs and app and all that, and it's no comparison to like having a buddy up in the booth saying, "Hey, man." It's not just like the inside outside or like where the car's at. Super speedway, you need to know what's going on 3 cars ahead of you, 4 cars ahead of you. Like, hey, inside line's looking weak, move up. Outside line's looking weak, move down. Info like that that the computer can't give you.
doesn't give you
That's so
correct.
valuable to racing. Even on those restarts, just not having P1 and P2 really connect with P3 and P4. The line that made it come together the best made the line work, but with more information, both of those lines should have been rockets. Looking at Jim Danham now, coasting along on a yellow. He's one to watch. Just gonna have a handful of laps here to get going, but you know, being able to kind of disinvolve himself with the incident he was ironically involved in, he's gonna end up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, sorting in 4 down in the outside line. Devin Zimmerman will be opposite him in lineage, which is someone who I would much rather be ahead of Devin than next to him. Not that he's gonna wreck me, but he will definitely pass me.
I think if you're somebody like Dale, who's currently our leader, these cautions definitely aren't hurting your feelings any, because
Mm-mm.
it's that many less laps that you have to worry about fighting these guys off.
No, and he's been really good on the restarts. He's kind of taking it like a drag strip. He takes off, rockets forward, and hopes for someone to connect to him. And from what I've seen on these restarts, they're having a lot of difficulty really being nose to tail up front on the restarts between both lines, and that works in Dale's advantage. I don't think Dale has anything to worry about right now outside of more than one person doing better than him in the line that's next to his. I think this is his race to win, and if he does everything right, he can have it. Now, I'm often wrong, but I think he's well positioned to win this race right now.
Well, only time will tell. We only have 7 laps to go, and I know we have a couple green white checkers if we need them. I'm hoping we don't.
I'm hoping we do. Told you, man. I'm the fan of the underdog now. It's Kevin Harvick's last year. I got no one to root for. I'm rooting for the underdog. I want to see P19 come up here and win this. Run out of gas, please. No, the drivers certainly aren't hoping for any green white checkers. Like I said, Dale Weiser well positioned up there. Couple cars on the outside line could make it hard for him. Andrew That's a good pitcher. On these restarts, it's not about the individual driver though. You need that whole to come with you. And again, without spotters and crew chiefs, get on that microphone. Hey, Biznet, you're behind me. I need you to push me. Doesn't matter if the other drivers hear it. Tell the driver you need to hear something, what they need to hear. And coming down the backstretch one more time. Does anybody have the ability to run through the field as they're round 3 and 4 here?
Yeah, so we got Dale Weiser in first place, Ryan Walters second, Jorge Rincon in third, Andrew Bisnet in third, and Jorge Rincon in fourth, Chuck McDonald fifth, Luke Desjardins in sixth, Jay Downham in seventh, Devin Zimmerman in eighth, Jim Downham ninth, and Will Weiser rounds out the top 10 as we get ready to go back to green.
Yeah, I think the top 10 is all that matters at this point in the race. A little bit of feedback from the YouTube chat, but not as important as what's going on right now as the pace car takes a hard left and we're going back to green as soon as they cross that blue. Commanding restart by Weiser.
Caution's back out again here on the track.
Looks like Brian Boyd was involved. I think,
Just behind the leaders here.
yeah, all the way back at the restart.
Wonder if maybe he got a slow start, got a bad shove. Looks like here as the leaders cross the restart zone, you see Brian Boyd and everyone else kind of open it up. Brian Boyd's looking to the inside there.
Yeah, I think he just tried to put it in a hole that wasn't there.
Yeah, just didn't have the clearance.
I know it's been a little bit of a frustrating race for Brian, and I think that he was just trying to get somewhere quick as, we're running out of time.
Yeah, well, these super speedway races,
there just wasn't room.
Super speedways are frustrating for everyone, especially when you've done well all night and kind of find yourself marred in the back and you're just kind of digging, looking for whatever you can get. Again, spotters. There should be a spotter community out here supporting events like this where good leagues have some great racing. These super speedways, man, it's so critical to have that information and communication. We'll line it up. We'll take another 3 laps here casually. Now, some of these guys might be sniffing at the gas tanks.
So we got a minute here. Spit out a name. Let's see who should we try to see if we can get a hold of.
Oh, spit out a name. Hold on, I got a whole list of names up here. I want to talk. Oh, I gotta make a mouse. There we go. Well, we don't want to talk to Boyd because he's clearly frustrated. I want to talk to David Tremblay. If you can get David Tremblay up here, that would be amazing.
Hey, David, it's Ethan, Josh, and Tommy in the booth. You got us?
Yes, sir.
Hey, man. Tommy, Upside Down A-Bear. Long race, tough race. You're not where you want to be. You've been one of my numbers I've been looking at all night. What is your strategy? 3 laps to go, sitting where you're sitting.
At this point, just full send it, really. Just full throttle, try to make use of any gaps I find, and try to keep it clean.
Obviously, the W's almost out the window, barring unforeseen circumstances. You're just looking for points, trying to do the best you can.
Yeah, basically a win would be nice. I'd say it's not completely out of the question with just the way super speedways are.
I don't think it's completely out of the question, but where you're at, like your position is points, right? Just not going after it, not really digging, not pressing the issue, just acquiring what you can acquire.
No, I'm gonna go for a win, really, and get whatever points I can collect at that point.
That's the answer I expected from you, and I wish you well on your way to doing that. I think you could.
Yeah, it seems like the outside lanes works for a bit, but kind of just stalls. So I'm not really sure. I guess gotta.
Yeah, I would. It's tough. You need the outside the game position. The inside seems to be a little more well connected, but like everybody needs a spotter. If everybody had a spotter, it'd be so much easier.
Yeah, that would definitely help quite a bit.
I agree, man. Well, I wish you the best. I've been watching you all night. Your out there, I definitely am favoring for the W. I don't know if you can get there, but get what you can get.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, unfortunately for David, I would say that he's more than likely going to have to find a way to make that outside line work because you're not going to be able to pass anybody on the bottom.
Well, I was curious, middle of the pack, where he was at, what his strategy was. And of course, every driver wants to win, right? And I have no doubt that he's going to go for the W. But I was curious, like, what his thoughts were. Is it points? Or are you going for everything you can get? And his answer, in short, was everything you can get. And I think that's the best answer sitting where he sits. It's super speedway racing. He's not out of it. Nobody's out of it.
You could have 5 to 6 cars in front get into a wreck here, and then now you're sitting in the top 3 to 4 cars on the next restart.
Yep, absolutely. Lights are off as they come down the backstretch. And I think top 6 looking strong, but again, on super speedways, it's communication, teamwork. They whichever line puts the nose to the bumper at the get-go, right off that drag race, is going to win. Dale Weiser's done a great job of winning his own drag race. But if that 20 hooked up to P2 right now, when that green flag drops, they would sail right past that 30, regardless of how good he is individually. You need a lot of help out here. Can't wait to see who has it and who doesn't.
It's time to tighten up them belts and check them steering wheels because we are about to go for one heck of a wild ride here with only a few laps left in this race. We are winding it down.
2 to go at the line.
This car's off. Weiser with a tremendous start again. But look at the outside line.
Outside line's definitely formed a lot better than the inside is. Jorge giving a really big push to Ryan Walter. Outside line making a lot of headway. Will Weiser trying to get to the bottom, gets in front of his father, Dale.
I'm still watching that Brian Boyd machine. Count any of that out yet. Coming on strong.
Yeah, Devin
Big
Zimmerman
move from
sneaking in
Devin.
the two.
A lot of moving going on up front.
Everyone trying to side draft. Look at David all the way at the high side. Oh, and we've got another wreck on the final lap.
Trouble.
Oh,
They're
wow.
wrecking all over the track.
Let them wreck. Somebody's gonna win this thing.
With this being a simulation, we won't throw the caution when they run back to the line.
That one, oh, that was going to be a great replay afterwards.
We're still running to the finish. Can Ryan stop it? Oh no, we can't.
Got a little bump right there. I haven't seen the bumper run on a super speedway in a long time. Oh, but it could cost them both. Andrew Bisnet now out of the picture.
Oh no,
Leader's out of the
for
picture.
Jorge.
As we see 1 and 2.
Side by side to the line. Who's going to get it?
Ooh. Was that the 20?
Looks like, I think it was the 05 of Casey.
Casey, it looks like Casey Wynn got that one. Jorge Rincon pulling up P2. 09 Jeremy Gaiman in third. I don't know. Hold on. No, Jeremy Gaiman third. Jorge Rincon second. Casey Wynn third. That's what it looks like.
Brian Boyd got back up to 5th place. With all that chaos.
Amazing. Now that's one of the benefits of the iRacing service is that last lap. If people are wrecking, there is no safety concern outside of like a bent pinky because your force feedback is hurting you, right? No caution thrown. A lot of racing happened after that initial wreck that would normally draw a caution in the real world. Tremendous. And for Casey to hold off P2 like that, just beautiful.
That
Great
ending was
racing.
flipping insane.
I'm so glad I was able to be here tonight because that was some of the best racing I've seen. Now you're gonna bottom out there. No, you gotta go sideways.
Try again.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. Now hold your brake. Nope. You're gonna bottom out again. Would anybody be offended if I gave him burnout tips when we bring him into the booth? No, no, I kid. Like, he deserves that win. It's a super speedway. He was in the position to make it happen. He does need some burnout advice, though. He's doing good. There we go. Now we got the tire spinning.
Oh, that was an exciting race with Tyler Daniels racing the Next Gen Series League tonight.
I tell you, Jim Downham up to 6th. Luke Desjardins showing 11th right now. Like, some of these names we talked about. Tevin Zimmerman back to 18th. Jay Downham back there. Some guys we saw up front are out back. Some guys we saw out back. Wynn, Rinkin, Gaiman. Gaiman bringing home 3rd. Bisnet in 4th. Just tremendous job. It's
Yeah,
it's
fifth
hard
of
to.
Brian Boyd, and 6th we
Well,
have Jim Downham. 74.
unfortunately-
Your underdog came in 7th of Chris Jordan.
Heck yeah. Heck yeah.
Unfortunately, oh no, we do. We just had our race winner pop into Discord, so we can go ahead and grab him.
Love it when they do that. So convenient.
Casey Wynn, got you up here in the booth. You got us?
Yes, sir.
Hey, congrats on getting the win here at Daytona. Talk about a absolutely hectic finish. You want to break it down for us?
I'll be honest with you, I am such a loss for words right now. I just wanted to run the high side because that's where I felt the most comfortable, and I don't know, it just seemed like the seas parted for me, and I don't know, I can't believe it. It's pretty crazy.
Well, as they say, all you got to do is be in it to win it, and fortunately for you, everything moved out of the way for you and able to get there. And there was some beating and banging along the way, of course, but nonetheless, you're the one sitting here, the winner tonight.
Yeah, I appreciate it. I'm definitely a short track guy, so to come in here, I kind of figured this would be the even playing field of it all with the super speedway, and
Yeah.
you know, I'm super excited. That was pretty awesome.
It doesn't matter what your favorite track is. Everybody's a super speedway guy, and we mentioned it early on. You got mired in the middle, and I have to ask: were you born with that last name, or did you earn it here tonight?
You know, all my buddies call me Casey Lose, but I think I earned my last name formally tonight.
Well, you can tell them go to ET Drone Home on YouTube and have them watch back at this race and let them know to quit calling you Lose because you
It,
won.
I know my old lady is. She was really hyped up. She was watching the stream, so it's pretty awesome.
It is awesome, and it's early in the season, so I'm here as a broadcast, haven't followed any races in, and you're one of people that have won in this season. What does this amount of points mean to you moving into the next race?
You know, to be honest, I've only ever ran short track stuff with these guys, but I think now that I got to win, I gotta figure it out. I'm not a NASCAR guy. I mean, well, I love NASCAR, but I'm just with the cars. I'm still learning. So we're gonna. Looks like now we're running the rest of the season and seeing what we can do.
Hey, you're doing a great job. One of the other guys in the booth, tell me where we're going next week.
Yeah, next week we will be at Darlington.
Darlington. How do you feel about Darlington, Win?
Well, I ran Darlington a few times in some other cars. I know it's going to be we're going to be earning the stripe. That's for sure. We're just going to kind of how it was tonight. Just kind of trying to stay out of trouble the best I can and just finish the race, and I'd be happy.
Is this your first TDR win in the Tyler Daniels Racing League?
In the next gens, it is.
It is.
Yeah,
So,
I run late models on Thursday mainly with them, and I ran their Friday night stuff before too.
Very good. Are you practicing next gen for Darlington next week?
Oh yeah, I got to be on it now. There's
That's
some
right.
guys in here I know that are absolutely super fast in these ovals, so it's going to be a challenge, but I love it. I'm excited.
I'm proud of you, man. Congratulations.
I really appreciate it.
So
Yeah,
I'm
great
think
win on a
I'm,
tough last lap.
I'm trying to take a glance at the points right now, and I see you currently situated not with the points from tonight, but sitting in the 20th place position. So I'm assuming that you haven't been here for all four races to this point. Was this the second one or the third one of the season for you?
I do believe this would be my second. Like I said, I'm still new to these cars as far as driving them, so I kind of joined in to just learn and make some laps. And I do believe the other race I ran was New Hampshire, if I'm correct. I'm not 100% sure, but that was a pretty tough race for me. So we'll just see what happens.
Well, hey, win and you're in is the motto for this season in the playoff format, and all you have to do is be in the top 20 in points when the playoffs get here, and you're obviously situated in the top 20 right now. So as long as you maintain that, you will absolutely be contending for a championship this season.
Well, I appreciate it, guys. Appreciate you guys putting this on. Appreciate the broadcast. This is awesome.
Hey, man, thank you. That was awesome.
You guys have an awesome night.
You too.
You too. All right, so the next available finisher would be Jeremy Gaiman, who brought it home in the third place position. Hey, Jeremy, got you up in the booth. You got us?
Yep, gotcha.
You remember
Hey,
when I said that pit stop was a good call? You got some points out of it.
Yeah, one or two, I think. I got ninth, I think. Yeah, that didn't work out so well. I got too far out, too big of a jump on that restart, and got frame trained there.
Yeah, you pulled it together. I mean, you got a P3 out of it.
Yeah, I just got lucky and missed every single one of them 17 wrecks on the last lap there.
well, I mean, you said the points were what were important to you, and it looks like you definitely were able to accomplish that. And it looks like you are currently situated in the sixth place, and only 1 point out of potentially being in fourth. So you're definitely one of the front of the field drivers this season. So keep up that good work, and we'll definitely be seeing you later this season running in the playoffs for a championship from the looks of it.
For sure.
Yep, looking forward to it. Thanks.
All right. We're going to try to grab, see if we can grab one or two more guys here. We got Andrew Bisnet, who came in fourth. Mr. Super Speedway is what I call him.
Yeah, I wouldn't disagree with that title.
Hey, Mr. Super Speedway, you got us?
Hey guys, how's it going?
It's going good. So congrats on once again having a good super speedway finish. We know anyone that knows you knows that you definitely like running these tracks, and you typically do relatively well. Granted, I'd say all that chaos at the end, skill doesn't come too much into hand other than just being lucky at that point. But I think that you had a little bit of luck on your side to be able to stay away from all that and have a good finish.
Yeah, I said to the guys in the race, looking at some of the cautions that were happening, it's like I think I picked a good race because you guys know I usually like to stay mid-pack and just hang out and let what's going to happen go around me. But tonight I kind of said, okay, we'll stick a little forward to the front, see where we stay, and I think that was a better choice, especially at the end there. I don't know what I did on the last lap. You talk about skill. I think I ran out of it because I could have gone high around Walter and Casey. We may have still ended up rubbing. I might have still ended up getting into him, but I went low to thinking Casey was going to have the faster run there, but man, it's it really is hit or miss.
It really is hit or
A lot of I did all the Talladega this week, all 3 series, so that I had some good practice. But like you said, got lucky. I saw. I don't know. I watched the replay. Jeremy missed everything and just flew past. Like I think he was 15th coming under the white flag and he finished 3rd, so that was pretty cool. No, it was another fun race, another good one. I had to get as many points as I could because I think last week I missed that while I was on a trip. So, but I'll be looking forward to see what I missed on the replay that you guys saw up there. So,
Well,
it'll be a good time.
You look good all night. This is upside down A-Bear guest hosting in the booth.
Hey, buddy, how you doing?
I'm doing great, busy.
Thought I
How
saw
you
your
doing?
name down there on the list.
You did. No, you look good all race. I was talking about you. The last third of it at least, because you were up front, ready to make a move, and it wasn't the W, but you did good. But I have to ask, what happened to the hot pink lime green thing you had going on?
A few people brought that up tonight. I completely forgot that I didn't have that on anymore. And it's I forgot who it was asked me tonight. It's like, you realize you just have like the plain old everyday iRacing paint scheme? I'm like, yeah, I know. I went with the red, white, and blue for back around the Independence Day and stuff, and I just never changed it. I am thinking of either going back to the hot pink or finding something. Somebody mentioned they had a Pokemon one. I might even do that because I do love that. But we'll see what the next couple weeks bring for that.
They had to remind me. I was like, "Who's in the 69?" They're like, "That's Andrew Bisnet." I'm like, "What's Busy doing running normal colors?"
Yeah, I know. No, I'm gonna have to find something to get back to. Get a nice bright color and stick with that too. So be
I don't
looking
know,
out for
man.
that, and we'll see what happens with it.
Those colors did pretty good for you tonight. Maybe you need to keep it more traditional.
Well, you never know. At the very least, the pink car will look good flipping in the air, right? You can't miss it. So there's that too.
Absolutely, absolutely. Good job tonight, It was fun to watch.
Thanks, appreciate it. Good to hear you, bud.
All right, and we can get our 5th place finisher, and we'll just round out the top 5 for our interviews tonight. And that'll be Brian Boyd. Hey, Brian, you got us?
What's going on, gentlemen?
Hey, congrats on getting a 5th place finish. I'm sure that you got to be somewhat pleased with that, considering
Absolutely.
the chaos that you endured throughout that one.
Yeah, I restarted 19th on that restart, and that last lap I made up 14 positions.
Yeah, I think if somebody told you that you were gonna go from 19th to 5th, you probably would have told them that they were crazy.
Yeah, I would have told them to go kick rocks. It was a little bit of a frustrating race for me, but all in all, 5th place, that's a good points finish. I got some bonus points, which was my goal when everybody else pitted, when I stayed out, was to get me some bonus points and kind of change my pit sequence.
Well, I see. I see. I see you're currently situated 3rd in points. Granted, the points that I've been telling some of these other drivers and where they're situated, that doesn't include the stage points from tonight as well. So, while we have a pretty good idea of where people are situated in points, they're not finalized. But regardless, you're sitting no worse than 3rd right now. So you're in a really good spot. Obviously, you're not gonna be in any threat of not being where you need to be for playoffs. Plus, you got to win anyway, so you don't have to worry about too much. You can just.
If these points ain't showing the bonus points yet, then I may take 2nd over.
Well, it will show your lap lead, but it doesn't have the only thing it won't have is the stage. So I'm not sure where you and Devin finished and at the halfway point.
Devin was up there. Devin was definitely up there.
Hey, Brian.
Yes, sir.
Upside Down A-Bear here. I'm guest hosting or guest broadcasting in the booth tonight.
It's good to hear your voice, buddy.
It's good to hear your voice too, man. I remember watching you before you had a TDR win, and I keep up with it. And I've seen the wins you've had, and the night you had tonight. I mean, it wasn't the best night, but it was a good night. I'm so proud of you.
Hey, thank you.
How far you've come, the W's you've gotten. You're doing a tremendous job out there, and I really love how you're worried about the mystery bonus points. 'Cause that's what a real driver's about, right? How many points did I get? Like, the bonus points. Just tell me, please.
Hey, they count, man. They
They
count.
do. They do. Every point counts, man. I love how far you've come and how seriously you take this quote unquote sport.
Yeah, absolutely, man. I'm competitive. It's just in my blood, and to not be, I don't feel like I don't think I could look at something and not be competitive.
Nah, you got it. You got what it takes.
Well, you got
where's your counterpart?
Darlington.
Oh, I'm here. What's going on, buddy? Good job tonight.
Yeah, I was like a ping pong ball, but yeah, yeah.
A ping pong ball and an upset teenager, but you got it done. Strong fifth place finish. So we were all watching for you. We were watching all the DEP guys there for DEP graphics and DEP racing, and it was fun to watch you come up through the pack and then hold it there for a while. So yeah, we're all definitely proud of everybody here at Tyler Daniels Racing for holding it together tonight.
Absolutely. All in all, I think almost every car was on the lead lap tonight.
That was a
At the
great
end.
race.
Yeah, I think only two cars maybe are disconnected.
Yeah,
So yeah, all in all, not bad. It was a great run for everybody tonight, but glad to see everybody had a good time and some cool people were up there in the front.
I know you're not counting me.
Oh, knock it off.
Just that one guy, last name Win, I believe. Who
Yeah,
won
yeah, yeah. Congrats to him, man. Way
for
to
sure.
drive it. He earned it.
Yep.
Yeah, that last lap was pretty intense for everybody all together. Us here in the booth and everybody on the track for sure.
I was watching. I was listening to Busy. I really thought Busy was gonna go for it. I was hoping he would, anyways.
Well, he was definitely in a position to, but just the way the thing's beating and banging.
It's funny how he does that. He's got an uncanny knack to find himself right where he needs to be when it comes crunch time.
I'm telling you, man. A whole host of spotters would change this whole industry.
Mm-hmm.
If we just had spotters for everybody, it'd be great.
Absolutely. What happened to Devin? Because I didn't even see what happened to Devin.
They just caught up in it.
Yeah, I didn't see what. I didn't even hear anything until after I was passing by what seemed to be like 5 or 6 different fires on the backstretch.
Yeah, it wasn't nothing. The end was chaotic. He was caught in it. It is what it is. Like I talked about him all night, man. He's a good driver, but it's also Daytona. So what are you gonna do about it?
I just put the fires out, moved on the next week.
Yeah, absolutely. Are you doing any training for Darlington? You practicing this week?
I'll probably put some laps together at some point.
You had better. That's the key.
I'm pretty confident at Darlington, so uh, I think the last time I ran the Sunday night race, I lost to Ethan. I finished second by like 2 seconds to Ethan when Ethan was running with us. So
No, Ethan's a force to be reckoned with. You don't want to meet him on the track. He's much better to meet in the booth, I tell you.
I'll meet him off the track. I'll find a set of stairs to push him down.
Stop.
Inside joke. I love you, Ethan. You know that.
Yeah, man, you too.
You guys have a great night.
You too, Brian. Good to talk to you.
Hey, likewise, buddy.
All right. Well, that concludes our interviews for tonight. We're going to go ahead and we'll go through our final results for the evening.
Yes, please.
All right. So your winner was Casey Wynn. 4 races, 4 winners. So that's pretty awesome to see. And I got a feeling the next week, I think that that trend's going to end next week at Darlington. I think one of our top guys is going to get their second win, whether it's Will or Devin. I think those are going to be two that are really ones to watch out for. But you never know. Will Weiser just won there in the uh, Xfinity Series this past Wednesday, so we know that he's good there. But second place tonight, Jorge Rincon. Third, Jeremy Gaiman. Fourth, Andrew Bisnet. Fifth, Brian Boyd. Sixth, Jim Downham.
Jim.
Seventh, Chris Jordan. Eighth, David Trumbley. Ninth, Dale Weiser. 10th, Will Weiser. 11th, Luke Desjardins. 12th, Tracy Wooten. 13th, Bob Burlew. 14th, Chuck McDonald. 15th, Bill Kirkstra. 16th, Dale Power. 17th, Ryan Walter. 18th, Devin Zimmerman. And that concludes the running order, if I believe, if I'm not mistaken, unless I
Let me see. You got
missed some.
19th Jay Downham, 20th
Yeah, there's a
Mike
couple others.
Matherly. I think the two cars that had, or it looks like Mike Matherly, Greg Langford, and Tyler Daniels had all disconnected. So
Yeah, it doesn't show us our disconnected crowd on our
Yeah.
results page. So
Hey, that's super speedway racing. The guys in the very back at the end of a super speedway race, you got to watch out for them next week because it ain't the same situation.
for certain.
and we can give you guys a brief little idea on the points real quick. Granted, I said these are not official. There's still points that have to be calculated in from the stage, but here's your as of now season standings. Will Weiser in first, Devin Zimmerman second, Brian Boyd third, David Trumbley fourth, Ryan Walter tied for fourth, Jeremy Gaiman sixth, Andrew Bisnet seventh, David E. Brown, who we did not see tonight, is in eighth, Jim Downham in ninth, Dale Weiser rounds out the top 10, and have to keep in mind that everyone in this league gets one drop week, so whatever your worst finish was of the season, that one will get erased from the point standings. And that does include if you were to miss a race. So you can technically miss a race without it really being a penalty, other than the fact that you could possibly be losing out on some bonus points if you were here. So that is everything for this evening. Want to thank everybody again for being here. Thank you, Josh and Tommy, for joining in the booth, and hopefully we'll see you guys in here again in the future, whether it's next week or weeks ahead. It's always nice having you guys up here.
Yeah,
Absolutely. Thanks for having me again for another week. Always love broadcasting with you. It's a fun time watching TDR racing.
Yep, absolute pleasure. I miss a lot of the guys I used to run on track with. I wish I had more time to commit to being in the booth and watching these guys, but honestly, I kind of feel like I'd rather be somebody's spotter. I think the spotter realm in iRacing is lacking severely, and I'm going to see what I can do about it.
Well, hey, you got to start it somewhere, and maybe we'll be pulling you in the booth while you're spotting for somebody.
And I don't have time. I'm spotting somebody.
Well, I'll tell you what, you're gonna have to get iRacing back if you're gonna start spotting.
That's true. But yeah, I enjoyed it a lot. I loved seeing the old names out there, the new names out there. I appreciate being in the booth with you, Ethan, someone who's well known in the community. The other fella, Kelleher?
Gosh, Kelleher, you got it. Almost.
Kelleher?
Yeah.
My last name is often mispronounced. Um, but no, it was great joining you guys in the booth. I love watching the racing. TDR. I follow the community even though I don't race anymore. Like, you guys are doing tremendous things in the industry. The broadcasting has been top notch. The quality on the Discord not so great. I had some struggles here, but what was being piped out to your YouTube is amazing. So everyone, hit that like, hit that subscribe, hit that follow, share it with your friends, especially Casey Wynn, who win the race tonight. Tell all your friends about it, buddy.
Yeah, we like I said, definitely appreciate all the support. Means a lot. As in, we don't do this to make any kind of compensation or anything. We just do it for fun and trying to show people a good league, as we say that. And we got one of our drivers, Jorge Rincon, just subscribed to the channel, so thank you for that.
Appreciate you, Jorge.
And if you didn't hear us before, good job on that second place finish tonight. Um, but yeah, I mean, it's a good way to be able to show, what kind of league that we have. Um, a lot of us, we really like what we've been able to put together here. So, and
I,
obviously welcoming the other people wanting to find somewhere to race. So, I've been here for, I don't know, probably a year and a half or so at this point, and definitely no intentions of going anywhere.
yep, it's a great thing. I think the racing itself, if you do the racing, it's great. It's fun. I much prefer being up in the booth. Less anxiety and a whole lot more fun to be had.
I'm here trying to figure out how to way to drive and broadcast at the same time. So
Let me know when you figure that out, because I very much would love to get back out there on
I
the
don't
track with them.
I don't think it would be possible. There's just too much
Yeah,
to do.
you
Yep.
need two rigs. You gotta have two rigs side by side. It would
On
be
that note,
obviously be
on
quite a
that
lot.
on that note, if anybody wants to donate to my GoFund, no, I'm just joking.
But I mean, hey, maybe if we can grow the broadcast team enough that maybe we can do some rotations on who takes the lead, so that way, um, you know, guys like myself and yourself, Josh, that if we feel like we want to get out there and mix it up with them here and there, that it makes it easier to do
Oh, for
that very
sure.
thing.
Step up, volunteer, do it. It's a lot of fun. I was
Yep.
like, I don't know what I'm doing, and now I'm like, oh, this is fun.
Yep, no promises, but I missed being up here a lot. And right now I'm like, hey, how can I help?
Here we go.
So no promises, but if I can help, I'll help. I love it.
Thanks everybody in the YouTube land for joining us tonight. Hope everybody stays safe and stays well.
For sure.
And then as far as the remaining schedule this week for the channel, tomorrow night will be the iRacing Warrior Motorsports League at Richmond, if I'm not mistaken. It was supposed to be last week, but I'm pretty sure they're moving it to this week. Their Truck Series race, that'll be me driving, so that'll be my in-car perspective. And then Tuesday we're back here at TDR, and on Tuesday that race is going to be at, double check here before I tell you the wrong thing.
Well, as you pull it up, we're definitely wishing you the best
Martinsville,
tomorrow.
Martinsville. We got Martinsville TDR Truck Series, and then Wednesday will be um, season finale for the TDR Xfinity Series, and that's going to be at Richmond. So I'll have two Richmond races this week, and then
Ugh, hard work.
Tuesday at Martinsville. So I got three short tracks in a row this week, all short track racing. So a lot of beating and banging and whatnot, I'm sure will ensue.
I
But
can't
we'll
wait
see
to
what we
see
can do.
everybody on
And
Tuesday night. That's for sure.
Hey,
so
you know the broadcast booth rules. If I see you broadcasting the screen, I'll hop in special guest waiting and try to help you out.
we'll definitely appreciate that. And maybe we'll see you here next week.
Could be. Definitely see
Uh,
you.
all right, everybody. Have a good rest of your night. Good day tomorrow. And we'll see you all tomorrow night for some in car racing. Everyone, Peace.
Be safe.